This is the case study for EDL 854. Briardale Elementary School's principal, Carl Santos, runs a hub for the community. Being in a smaller school district, his building is one of the go-to buildings when there are fundraisers and events in the community. The superintendent has put the curriculum funding into the hands of the individual buildings, and Mr. Santos has organized a foundation to raise funds, but the recommendations for funds usage goes before a committee. Mr. Barley is a new parent to the school, has been appointed president of this foundation for this year. Mr. Barley organized a large cash raffle to raise money, and when the raffle took place, the police arrived and arrested Mr. Barley. So the obvious legal and ethical issues here are that raffles can be considered illegal gaming. Raffles for cash are determined illegal as it is a form of gambling that requires special licensing before these can take place. Mr. Santos has now realized through this recent fundraising situation he should have had more oversight on the fundraising affairs of Mr. Barley. And Mr. Barley held a raffle for cash and was arrested and consequently did not raise any money at that time. So for the foundations, they can be chaired by parents or staff, but administration should provide oversight and direction policies to be followed. Mr. Santos already has a committee to approve the usage of these funds that are raised, but this committee should also be involved in the means to raise the funds. Policies for guidance for those organizations need to be communicated clearly to prevent the situation from happening in the future. And this program falls under curriculum and building level funds, but the lack of oversight has caused a miscommunication on how fundraising in Briardale Elementary School should take place. The situation has impacted school, students, staff, and the community. If Mr. Santos is actually unaware of the policies for fundraising, he should consult the district for the board policies. The entire building, students, staff, and administration have stake in the ability to come back from this situation, and this situation could potentially be harmful to the community and future donations for curriculum. So my options here are to make no decision and see how things play out. It is to find and communicate the policies to the curriculum committee, decide if I'm going to replace Mr. Barley as president of the foundation or not, and organize another fundraiser to follow state and district policies and try and recoup funds and reestablish positive social media presence for our school so that the reputation is repaired. So my first option, to do nothing, provides some low stress because I don't have to make any decisions. However, the cons would be we wouldn't be raising any more money. We wouldn't be fixing the negative reputation that's been established by this situation. I could communicate the fundraising policies, which would organize future fundraisers and recoup lost funds and prevent future problems. I don't foresee any cons for me communicating these fundraising policies. I could replace Mr. Barley. I could have someone start new with policies and collaborate with a committee and start fresh. The con would be that Mr. Barley could be a large supporter, and if given the chance, he could learn from his mistakes and truly help our school. I could organize a new fundraiser, raising money for curriculum, resetting the reputation, and improving community relations. And as long as I follow the regulations and policies, I don't foresee any cons. So the very first combination of actions I would take would be to find and communicate these policies to the committee and the president so that they understand what is allowed and what is not allowed regarding fundraising. I would choose to keep Mr. Barley in charge to help him learn from these mistakes and still have an impact on the foundation. I don't believe that Mr. Barley had any ill will. Possibly ego got in the way and he wanted to make these decisions on his own. I then am going to organize oversight by the committee and work with Mr. Barley and include myself in those decisions. And then I would plan a statement to the community to release information for an upcoming event to raise funds. So the staff, I would probably need to hold a faculty meeting, explain what had happened and what the next steps are to keep them in the communication. So the first thing I would do is organize a meeting with my staff. I would then also need to hold a meeting for the foundation and release the policies that guide appropriate fundraising, set regular meetings, agenda items for discussion, and provide oversight. I would also need to attend these meetings. I would also, with the foundation, have them begin to plan the next fundraiser to begin to heal that reputation that has been established. So the action would be find the policies, align definitions for roles of the committee. The community, I would release a statement to help refocus attention on the intention of fundraising and release a new fundraiser to come, planning for that new fundraiser. I would also be using our social media presence to start establishing images and tags on things that the foundation has funded in the past so that they see students and they see how it impacts our students. First, I need to find those board policies for building purposes. So I need to make sure that I communicate those clearly and fix the miscommunication. Second, I'm going to meet with Mr. Barley, communicate the policies, explain the role of the committee and administration for oversight, and then help him to continue to hold the next meeting and establish new steps moving forward. I would hold a faculty meeting to explain the situation, and then I would hold a meeting with the committee and Mr. Barley and begin planning that new fundraiser. I believe that this would be something we could come back from. I believe that this is a situation that was just lacking oversight and communication on the part of the administration, and that it can be prevented in the future.